Well, hey there, and welcome back to Touring History, the podcast where we prove that any random date contains enough cultural transformation to power an entire generation's coming of age story. Hey, I'm Dave.
And I'm coming of age Lane. And this
Oh,
is our fifth episode of Touring History X, Y, and Z. It's our shorter format designed to entertain and educate across multiple generations.
well, yeah, the three largest generations, I think. And 5 episodes in, and this format keeps revealing how the same historical moment can resonate completely differently depending on your generational lens.
Yeah, think of it as historical empathy training with better retail innovation. And before we dive into a day that gave us everything from barcode technology to marriage equality to the birth of modern fantasy publishing, we need to talk about Ike's Love and Sandwiches.
That's right. We need to be fed first. Are we really segueing, though, from retail innovation to sandwich construction?
Well,
Hmm?
Dave, when you're
Yeah.
about to discuss UPC barcodes, same sex marriage rights, and Harry Potter all in one episode, you need sustenance that understands both efficiency and magic. Ike's Love
Hmm.
and Sandwiches doesn't just make sandwiches, they create systematic deliciousness.
Yes, and magicness. Since 2007, they've been proving that organization and creativity aren't opposites. Over 600 sandwich combinations. 600 sandwich combinations.
Woo!
Amazing. Each one systematically crafted. They must run it through AI and named after someone who matters. From the Pee-wee to the hot mama. Ooh, wonder what's in that.
Check them out at ikesandwich.com because when history gets this systematically transformative, you deserve food that's equally well organized.
That's right. And although I'm not organized, I'm ready to jump into today's history because it's definitely systematically transformative. This one, June 26th, the day retail scanning was born, marriage equality became law, and children's literature changed forever. 3 moments about efficiency, equality, and escape into other worlds. Join me!
Yeah. But first, let's start with birthdays because June 26th showcases the full spectrum of American creativity. Dave Grusin turns 91 today, jazz
Ah!
pianist and film composer who proved that sophisticated music could work in popular entertainment.
Plus, we've got Chris Isaac. Is it Isaac or Isaac?
Isaac, I think.
Isaac, okay. At 69, creating dreamy rockability that somehow made heartbreak sound luxurious rather than just painful.
Yeah, and Paul Thomas Anderson's 55, making films that are both deeply personal and cinematically ambitious, proving that art house and entertainment don't have to be enemies.
No, no enemies there. Oh, here's a good one. Nick Offerman at 55, turning woodworking and deadpan masculinity into comedy gold while secretly being one of the most thoughtful performers in entertainment. He's great.
And also a fellow classmate of mine at University of Illinois, but that's a different story. And
Really?
Ariana Grande at 32, evolving from Nickelodeon star to pop powerhouse while maintaining both vocal excellence and cultural relevance.
Yes, and had to deal with some guy who liked her feet. But anyway, from
And a guy named
jazz.
Pete. Pete, and a guy who liked her feet.
That's right. From jazz legends to indie filmmakers to pop superstars, June 26th really captures how American creativity keeps reinventing itself. Well, that's us.
Yeah. So, first up, June 26, 1974, the first UPC barcode gets scanned on a pack of Wrigley's gum in Troy, Ohio. And this is peak Gen X retail experience right here.
Yeah, it's amazing that we these days take that barcode for granted. I mean, can you imagine how long it took at the checkout before that happened? Oh, here we go. Lane's connecting grocery store technology to generational identity again.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Gen X were the first kids to grow up with barcodes as normal. They never experienced grocery shopping as this slow manual process where cashiers had to type in every price.
Price check, aisle 4. Ah, what are these things called again? Condoms? And more importantly, they were the first generation to experience shopping as fundamentally efficient. That is, if the barcodes worked. Barcodes made retail faster, more accurate, and ultimately cheaper.
True, but they were also the first generation to experience shopping as completely tracked.
Uh,
Every purchase gets recorded, analyzed, turned into data about your behavior and preferences.
and then they track you down on your computer and send you spam. Barcodes created the foundation for modern consumer surveillance. They sell everything you buy. Every time you buy something, the system learns more about who you are and what you want. It's Big Brother at Stop and Shop.
It is. Gen X grew up assuming that convenience and privacy were opposites. If you wanted efficient shopping, you had to accept that corporations would track everything you bought.
And they were mostly okay with that trade off. Faster checkout, better inventory management, lower prices in exchange for giving up purchasing anonymity.
What's fascinating is how this prepared them for the internet economy. Gen X weren't surprised when online shopping required giving up even more personal data.
Yeah, shocking that they weren't surprised because everything is sold. They'd already learned that modern convenience requires information sharing. It ain't free, folks. Barcodes taught them that efficiency and surveillance go hand in hand.
Although, let's be honest, most people have no idea how much information retailers can extract from barcode data. It's not just what you buy, it's when, where, how often, and what you buy together.
Lane's up at 11 again at Costco. Your grocery store
Condoms.
probably. Aisle 4, he's there again. Get him. Your grocery store probably knows more about your habits than your family does. Uh-oh. I smell a bribe coming. And it all started with a pack of juicy fruit in Ohio.
The most mundane technological innovation with the most far reaching social consequences. Very Gen X experience, accepting revolutionary change disguised as ordinary progress.
Yes, very subversive. All right, well, on to June 26th, 2015. The Supreme Court rules in Obergefell versus Hodges. Now, there's a mouthful. Legalizing same-sex marriage nationwide. Ah, these dentures again. And this is the defining millennial civil rights victory.
So, how is marriage equality specifically millennial, Dave?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Lane, because millennials were the first generation to grow up with the LGBTQ plus rights as a mainstream political issue. They watched this entire movement happen in real time, from total marginalization to constitutional protection. Pretty quick.
And they were the generation that made it politically viable. By 2015, young voters overwhelmingly supported marriage equality, which gave politicians permission to evolve on the issue.
That's right. Marry who you want, date who you want. We're not living with the pilgrims. Millennials entered adulthood assuming that love was love, that discrimination based on sexual orientation was obviously wrong, that marriage equality was just inevitable. You're going to do what you want to do. That's why we're a great country.
But they also watched how long institutional change takes. The first same sex marriages happened in Massachusetts in 2004, and it took 11 more years to get national recognition.
There go those pilgrims again. That's peak millennial political experience, being obviously right about something, but having to wait for institutions to catch up with basic human decency.
Yeah, and the victory felt both enormous and insufficient. Marriage equality was huge, but workplace discrimination, adoption rights, transgender protections, so many issues remained unresolved.
And now they're being completely rolled back. Millennials learned that civil rights victories are incremental and that you have to keep fighting, even after you win major battles and they try and take them away from you.
What's remarkable is how quickly public opinion shifted. In 1996, only 27% of Americans supported same sex marriage. By 2015, it was 60%.
That's pretty quick. That's faster than almost any other major social change in American history. Millennials didn't just support marriage equality, they convinced their parents and grandparents to support it too.
Although the backlash was immediate, conservative states started passing religious freedom laws designed to undermine marriage equality without technically violating it.
Yes, but so millennials got to experience both the euphoria of constitutional victory and the frustration of watching opponents find new ways to discriminate legally.
Very millennial lesson. Winning
Hmm,
in court doesn't automatically change hearts and minds. Legal equality and social acceptance are different battles.
that's true. So, back to
Yeah,
1997. And
yeah,
guess
let's
what
go on to
published, Lane?
1997. Yes, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is published in the UK, And this is absolutely foundational Gen Z cultural DNA.
Okay, I'll bite. How is a children's book from 1997, specifically Gen Z?
Well, come on, because Gen Z grew up with Harry Potter as their primary
Harry
shared
Potter.
cultural experience. These books weren't just entertainment, they were the framework for how an entire generation understood stories, morality, and growing up.
Ah, and to think the author was on public assistance while she was writing it. Ha! And they
Wow.
experienced the series in real time. The first book came out when the oldest Gen Z kids were babies. The last book, when they were 10, they literally grew up with Harry. Harry Potter.
Right. Right. So Harry Potter became this massive generational touchstone. Everyone read the same books, saw the same movies, had the same cultural references.
And had Hagrid in their dreams. Ah! But more than
Buckbeak.
that, these books taught Gen Z how to think about power, authority, resistance, and moral complexity. Voldemort wasn't just evil, he represented institutional corruption and the abuse of power.
He who shall not be named. Yes. And
Mm,
the
yeah.
heroes weren't perfect either. Harry makes mistakes. Hermione can be insufferable. Ron gets jealous and insecure. Gen Z learned that good people are complicated people.
And that damn owl appears everywhere. Plus, the books got progressively darker and more politically sophisticated as the readers got older. Very intentional coming of age storytelling.
What's fascinating is how Harry Potter created this global youth culture. Kids everywhere were reading the same stories, learning the same lessons about friendship, loyalty, and standing up to authoritarianism.
Yeah. Yes. Wake up, kids. And it made reading cool again. How about that? Before Harry Potter, children's literature was seen as educational or cute. Rowling proved the kids wanted complex, emotional, sophisticated stories. Don't talk down to them.
Although the series has gotten more complicated as Gen Z has grown up, Rowling's recent comments about transgender issues have created this weird tension with the values the books supposedly represent.
Do you know that Harry used to be Helen Potter? Just kidding. That's very Gen Z. Learning to separate art from artist, to appreciate the positive impact of stories while critiquing their creators' limitations.
Harry Potter taught them that even heroes can be disappointing, which turns out to be excellent preparation for adulthood.
Yes, I know what they all feel about me, Lane. Don't worry, I can take it. Speaking of magical combinations that actually deliver, let's talk about Ike's Love and Sandwiches. Oh, what a great subject, where every order feels like discovering something special.
Yeah, while other places offer predictable options, Ike's creates experiences. Over 600 different sandwiches, each one carefully crafted and named after someone who made magic happen in the real world.
That's right. The only thing supersized at Ike's is the menu. The Harry Houdini, turkey and pastrami with Swiss, and it disappears pretty quickly, proving that the best tricks are the ones that actually satisfy. The Maya Angelou, chicken with avocado and sprouts because some combinations just make everything better.
Founded in 2007 with the belief that great food should be both systematically excellent and creatively inspiring, proving that efficiency and artistry work perfectly together.
Just like us. Check them
That's
out at
right.
ikesandwich.com, where every sandwich proves that the best magic happens when quality ingredients meet genuine creativity.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Our fifth touring history X, Y, and Z episode. Fantastic. June 26th gave us three different approaches to transformation, technology efficiency, legal equality, and cultural imagination. What strikes me is that this is your line.
What strikes me is how these events show different ways that change becomes permanent. Barcodes changed retail forever through pure efficiency. Marriage equality changed law through sustained activism. And Harry Potter changed culture through shared storytelling.
And each transformation shaped different generations differently. Gen X learned to accept surveillance, ooh, look over your shoulder, as the price of convenience. Millennials learned that civil rights victories require constant defense. And Gen Z learned that stories can be more powerful than institutions.
Although all three lessons remain relevant. Technology still trades convenience for privacy, equality still requires vigilance, and imagination still shapes how we understand the world.
Yeah, well, the tools change, but the fundamental challenges of balancing efficiency with humanity, rights with resistance, and entertainment with education remain pretty consistent. I mean, this is never going to stop. Like wars in the Middle East.
Speaking of consistent excellence that never gets old, Ike's Love and Sandwiches has been proving that creativity and quality create their own kind of magic. Check them out at ikesandwich.com.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. This X, Y, and Z format keeps revealing how historical events create the mental frameworks that different generations use to understand the world.
Until then, I'm Lane.
And I'll pause as long as you did. And I'm Dave, reminding you that history is just people making decisions about efficiency, equality, and whether children deserve stories that challenge them to become better people. Oh.
Aw. Go be better
All
people,
right.
people.